A reading from The Death of Bunny Munro, a novel by Nick Cave. The boy thinks his father looks weird sitting there eating his breakfast in the dining room of the Empress Hotel, but it's hard to really know for sure as it seems a long time since he's looked anything else. His eyes keep darting all over the place. No sooner are they looked over there than they look over here, and then as soon as they look over here, they're looking somewhere else. Sometimes he's rubbernecking over his shoulder or searching under the table or checking to see who's coming through the door or squinting at the waitress like he thinks she's wearing a disguise, like a mask or a veil or something. He keeps holding his ribs and sucking air through his teeth and wincing and generally making strange faces. Sometimes he does things sped up and sometimes he does them slowed down. Bunny Jr. feels time is playing tricks on him. For example, he feels like he could grow from a little boy into a wrinkly old man in the amount of time it takes his father to lift up his cup, bring it to his lips, and take a slurp of tea. And other times it seems like his father is doing everything just revved up and super fast, like he's racing around the breakfast room or running off to the bathroom. Bunny Jr. feels like he's been hitting the road for 1,000,000 years now, but realizes with a chilly, drizzly feeling that this is only the 3rd day. His dad keeps saying something about the client list, but as far as Bunny Jr. can see, the list is pretty much finished. He wonders what will happen when there's no more names left on the list. Will they go home? Will they just get another list? Does this just go on forever? And what else did life have in store for him? What will he amount to? Is there some alternative life waiting to be lived? Then his dad forks an entire sausage into his mouth, and the boy can't help but smile at this truly impressive display. That's the thing with my dad, thinks the boy. Just when you're really about to get angry with him, he goes and does something that leaves you completely awestruck. Well, he thinks, I love my dad. That's a good thing. I mean, he thinks, you gotta hand it to him. Bunny Jr. watches a glob of ketchup run down his father's chin and land on his tie. This particular tie is sky blue, and there are little cartoon rabbits printed on it with little stitched crosses for eyes lounging around on white cotton clouds. Bunny is too busy scanning the breakfast room to notice the mess he's making. So the boy reaches across the table and dabs at the spot with a damp napkin. That's better, says the boy. I don't know what I'd do without you, says Bunny, looking around the place like his head is on some sort of crazy floppy spring. You'd be a bit of an old pig, says the boy. Bunny stands up and looks under his chair. I said you'd be a bit of a fucking old pig, says Bunny Jr. a little bit louder. The boy's been reading his encyclopedia at the breakfast table, and as well as apparition and visitation, he has looked up near-death experience. The boy looks at his father, and for no particular reason, he says, Hey, Dad, it says in my encyclopedia that a near-death experience is a striking occurrence sometimes reported by those who have recovered from being close to death. His father stands abruptly and bumps his head on the table, and there's a rattle of crockery, and the little white porcelain vase falls over with its sad, solitary flower, and they both watch in slow motion the water soak into the tablecloth. Bunny Jr. picks up the flower, a simulated pink English daisy, and puts it into the buttonhole of his father's jacket. There you go, says the boy. We got work to do, says Bunny. He scrapes back his chair and says, We've got important business to attend to. Bunny pulls up the collar of his jacket and wraps his arms around himself. Is the air conditioning up too high in here? He says with a shudder. I guess, says the boy. And he picks up his encyclopedia and follows his father out of the breakfast room of the Empress Hotel. As the automatic door hisses open, Bunny Jr. feels a sense of relief to be leaving the Empress Hotel, and he says to his father, A near-death experience generally includes an out-of-body event in which people travel through a dark void or tunnel toward the light. The sun beats down and the steam rises from the wet, dazzling streets. The glare hurts the boy's eyes, and he slips on his shades, wonders if he's actually dead. He thinks, is this why I keep seeing my mother? He pinches the flesh on his thigh until his eyes water, and out on the sea, a bank of condensed mist moves across the water towards them like an unsolicited memory. In a near-death experience, people have reported encountering religious figures, shouts Bunny, jumping up and down and rubbing the bruise on his thigh and thinking, ouch, 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 ouch. One might even encounter a deceased loved one. His father keeps walking in a peculiar way and beating at his clothes with his hand and looking over his shoulder, and the sea mist continues to roll towards them like a great white wall, blurring the line between the real world and its fog-bound dream or something. There you go, says the boy, helping his father, who's fallen over on the sidewalk, to his feet. Look what you've gone and done, he says, pointing to a little triangular rip in the knee of Bunny's trousers. Yeah, I don't know what I'd do without you, says his father, as he takes a long drink from something from a bottle, opens the door of the Punto, and, face first, falls in. When the Punto doesn't start, his father pounds the steering wheel, then actually clasps his hands together in supplication and petitions God and all his saints for assistance. And the insubordinate Punto, as if taking pity on him, coughs and sputters into life with a promise of taking him where he wants to go. A near-death experience is often accompanied by strong feelings of peacefulness, Dad, says the boy. Grab the client list, says Bunny, resting his head on the wheel and playing with the hole in his trousers. The boy says, it is often accompanied by strong feelings of peacefulness. He leans over, takes a tissue from the glove compartment, and together they dab at the little scrape on his dad's knee. There you go, says the boy. Happy birthday, Rob.